Good evening and welcome to Prime Business with me, Winston Taki, and now to our first business story. Banking consultant Dr. Benjamin Amoah has described Bank of Ghana's monetary tightening measure to help stabilize the cedi as prudent. The central bank has rolled out a series of measures to help stabilize the local currency, including making the cedi asset more attractive with high interest rates and reviewing the policy rate. But Dr. Amoah is also worried about the impact of the cost of credit.
Rates are how the market means that if you are going to borrow, you are going to borrow at a high cost, and this high cost will be fed into pricing with the assumption that loan cost is a major influencer of input prices, and that will affect prices on the market. We are going to consume goods and services at a higher price if this particular strategy should be sustained over the long term. But we should not forget, inflation itself is also a factor into the monetary tightening framework. So if we can get inflation under control, if you look at the market basket that is used to calculate or estimate our inflation, if all the variables in there or some of the major components can be brought under control, then that will feed into the overall inflation, which will also cool down the monetary policy rate. So over the long term, it is not sustainable because it will make prices expensive. But for the immediate term, the central bank may want to use this just to stabilize the currency.
The Ghana Cocoa Board has announced that it will not for the first time in 3 decades raise money through offshore syndicated loan to finance the purchase of cocoa beans for the 2024-2025 crop season. Targeting about 650,000 metric tons of cocoa this season, Cocoa Board said it will be able to finance the purchase from its internal operations. Speaking at a press briefing, Chief Executive Joseph Behin Aidu said there is an elaborate plan to win the country off loans with high interest rate from offshore lenders.
For the first time in the history of Ghana Cocoa Board, Cocoa Board wants to win itself from the offshore syndication. We want to be self-financing. Since 1992, Cocoa Board has been going offshore to borrow from a syndication of banks, or a consortium of banks. And 32 years, I think, is quite a good time for any human being to learn his or her lessons. 32 years, we've learned our lessons. And we think that it's high time, we weaned ourselves from the offshore international financial market and then finance the crop ourselves here. And that's exactly what we are going to do. And I think it comes with a lot of projectory benefits. If we're able to do that, because this year we send RFPs for $1.5 billion, we're going to look for $1.5 billion. Looking at interest rates last year, which were over 8%, and plus other costs, it means that we can save almost about $150 million by just not going. The decision not to go offshore alone can save us all that money. And we need that money for other purposes. So for the first time, we will not go.
Now, still staying on a break, former executive director of the Peasant Farmers Association and a farmer, Dr. Charles Nyaba, is calling on government to put in place structures to store excess water from the spillage of the Bagri Dam and other dams for the use of farmers in the dry season. This comment followed cries from some farmers in the northern part of the country about the impact of the weather on their farming activities. Speaking to Joy Business, Dr. Nyaba called on government to find a solution to the problem and enhance food security.
One, I think that these food security issues are very serious that we shouldn't joke with. Those farmers who lost their farms completely, I spoke to about 5 farmers today, and they lost more than 50 acres each. And they said there's nothing they can do. That if they have resources, maybe they will have tried to just replant again. So those farmers, we need to identify them, support them with seeds, support them with fertilizer to start again. 2, government should quickly put in measures in place so that when we produce, the little that we produce, we mop them up. Last year, I gave this recommendation that the best way for us to be able to address food shortages when it comes to this time is to mop up during the bumper harvest. Government never took that advice. They allowed the Burkinabe and the Togolese to come and mop everything. And that's why we are experiencing the shortage now. So we should just put in resources to ensure that the little that we produce will mop them up, and during the rain season, release them into the market.
Dr.
In the medium term,
all right.
In the medium term, what we need to do is to begin thinking of how to store the excess water that is coming from the precipitation and then the spillage of the Bagre Dam, so that farmers will be able to use them during the dry season.
Now, the Toabo gas processing plant in the western region has resumed work. This was after it was shut down for plant maintenance works. Joy Business understand this was done some 2 weeks ago. George Biafe has the rest of the story.
This should mean that they were able to start work way before the target date for resumption of work. The Ghana National Gas Company last month announced that it would be shutting down the plant from August 1 to August 17, 2024 to help with some maintenance works. Maintained that the works was also to ensure that it safeguard assets and cost of operations as well as power generation in the country. The development should come as good news when it comes to power generation, as gas from Atuabo came across as cheaper source of fuel for the country's energy firms and even some manufacturing firms in the country. The plant was also a major source of LPG supply for the country. But for the Ghana National Gas Company, this work was needed badly to protect the infrastructure, as any delay would not be good for the country.
And in other news, President Kufu has commissioned the first phase of Ghana's Petroleum Hub in the Jomoro municipality in the western region. This marks a significant step towards ensuring that Ghanaian households and industries have access to reliable, affordable, and sustainable energy. The project follows a $12 billion agreement signed in June between the Petroleum Hub Development Corporation and the TCP UIC Consortium. This initiative is part of the President's vision to position Ghana as a leader in petroleum refining, storage, and distribution across the sub-region and beyond.
The Petroleum Hub project is a private sector-driven investment with the Ghanaian government providing essential infrastructure including railways, roads, utilities, and regulatory incentives necessary for the hub's operation. The first phase of the integrated petroleum complex will feature a refinery with a capacity of 300,000 barrels per day, a state-of-the-art petrochemical plant with 90,000 BPD capacity, a 3 million storage tanks, a jetty with port infrastructure. At a groundbreaking ceremony, President Akufo-Addo highlighted the significant economic benefits the hub will bring to Ghana.
I'm happy to stand before you at this groundbreaking ceremony for the Petroleum Hub project, a project that promises to be a cornerstone of our nation's development. As we gather to commence the implementation of this project, we take a bold step towards ensuring that all Ghanaian homes and industries have access to reliable, affordable, and environmentally sustainable energy. This is the first phase of our 3-phase hub, estimated to cost some $12 billion United States dollars. Upon conclusion, this project will complement, not compete, with existing refineries in Ghana and in the West African region, such as Tor, Sintio, and Dangote. Led by the private sector, is designed to capture and sell the African Continental Free Trade Area market, which is valued currently at some 3.4 trillion United States dollars. We envisage a facility equipped with cutting-edge technology, prioritizing environmental sustainability with green buffers, supporting local fauna and flora. It will be a benchmark for crude and petroleum product pricing in Africa. This project promises to create some 780,000 direct and indirect jobs, help stabilize our currency, stimulate local economic development, and position Ghana as Africa's premier petroleum and petrochemical hub. This project is a bold solution to the challenges confronting the energy sector. To ensure we stay connected to the action, I propose that the headquarters of the Petroleum Hub Development Corporation be located in Jomoro.
Now, in other stories, finance and accounting firm KPMG is optimistic about a downward decline with inflation will be sustained in the coming months. Inflation has dropped from over past 4 months to 20.9% in July this year. However, there are concerns that government will still struggle to hit its end-of-the-year target of 17%. Ivan Cesare is partner, deal and advisory at KPMG. He has also been talking about the current discussions to restructure Ghana's debt.
I think once we are seeing certain indicators trending positively, for instance, inflation is trending downwards. In fact, the IMF review stated that inflation drop exceeded target. So it means that we are really targeting inflation as one of the key indicators to ensure that the cost of goods and services are within reasonable means, so that you and I can easily buy, things on the market, and therefore our disposable income becomes a bit more impactful in our pocket. So the rate at which prices of goods and services are reducing, or the rate at which they are increasing, is reducing. So the rate, when it used to be 55%, is now 20.9%. End of period inflation, we are expecting 15%. Should that happen, then
that's the government's projection.
That is the end of
period. What
say
you? I mean, what are you? Is it achievable?
It's a bit of a challenge. Okay, looking at the other factors I mentioned, the fact that there will be a bit of pressure on the cedi in this half of the year, and then there would also be elections coming up, and there will be a bit of more cash injection into the economy. So it will challenge it. But I think if we look at how inflation is trending downwards, if the same rate applies for the rest of the months to the end of the year, we believe that 15% is not far from sight, if you ask. I think the media budget review gave some indications as to what government has been able to achieve, especially debt relief and some debt cancellation from our Eurobond holders. I think it helps government to free up some space to be able to redeploy resources to some critical sectors. Okay, so that's the first one. The second one, too, is that businesses also get that confidence that once government is meeting some of these IMF conditionalities, if I may call them, or performance criteria, targets, indicative targets, then it means that confidence is still building in the economy, and therefore businesses are able to predict what is going to happen. In the short to medium term, we believe that we'll be able to sail through. I think the question we still need to ask ourselves is, after the IMF deal is implemented, what happens?
Now, staying on the economy, the International Monetary Fund, IMF, has disclosed that government may introduce a suspended 15% value-added tax on electricity if inflation rate continues to decline. Government suspended the plan to implement the VAT on electricity after public outcry on the hardship the tax may bring on consumers, particularly residential. The following report has more. The IMF in its July 2024 country staff report hinted that government may implement the policy if inflation goes down. The IMF said on page 10 of the report, and I quote, "On the revenue side, implementation of VAT on residential electricity expected yield of 0.17% of GDP was suspended due to strong social resistance. The authorities are committed to implementing this measure when the inflation dynamics are more conducive." End of quote. The VAT on residential electricity was initially announced as part of revenue-generating measures under the IMF-supported COVID-19 recovery effort. A letter from the Ministry of Finance signed by former Minister Ken Ofori-Atta and dated January 1st, 2024, directed the Electricity Company of Ghana, ECG, and Northern Electricity Distribution Company, NETCO, to implement the VAT for residential customers above a specific consumption level. Home and Safety Solutions, a leading provider of housing solutions, is preparing for this year's EcoBank Joy News Habitat Fair with significant discount on their offerings. Marketing manager of the firm, Obri Yebuamedu, discusses with my colleague Carlos Coloni what attendees can anticipate at this year's fair.
Hello. Welcome to Safety and Home Solutions. We are your complete door solutions for all your home needs. My name is Obri Yebuamedu. I'm the marketing manager for Safety and Home Solutions. At Safety and Home Solutions, we are your complete door solution. We have external doors. We also have internal doors. Our external doors are from Turkey, and they are Turkish premium doors. We have our own manufacturers. We have single, 1.5, and double, as well as we have 7 feet, 8 feet, and also we can customize it per your requirements. If you have any dimension or any request, you bring it to us. We do it for you. Within 3 to 4 months, you get it back. So our external doors, we have different finishing. We have the glass finish, we have the embossed wood, we have the wooden finish, and also we have the aluminum finish. All these doors comes with different panels in between, which are not easily to be broken into. And also we have them in single, 1.5, double. We also have it in pivots. We also have solid wooden doors for internal doors and also laminated doors. Our solid wooden doors are 100% wooden from Turkey, which are made from thick wood and with high technology. So it's not going to be broken or going to be bent or animals trying to destroy it. It can be there for so many years. Our internal doors are waterproof, which means it's laminated, so it's waterproof, and it cannot, it's easily to be cleaned and also can be there for so many years. It comes in a complete, the floor, climbing up. We have waterproof solution right from foundation to the roofing.
We do waterproofing, chemicals, and some of the products that we have are admixture for your concrete work, fresh foundation. So it's actually, basically it's like from foundation to the roof. We have all the chemicals. So we have Integra L. The L means liquid. So casting the concrete, you mix it in your mortar, like your concrete work, to fill the ground. That is if it's a waterlock area. Yes, just to rise it up to the foundation level. We add it in block work. We have some of the companies block factories that come for them to mix in their blocks. So the ones that they have the Integra L in makes it dry quickly. So we use it to lay the blocks for plastering, for prevention, which is preventing future dampness. And we have waterlock for instant water stopper, like a water plug. If you have water coming in from your water tank before your swimming pool, casting your swimming pool, you can mix it in your mortar to cast it. Yeah. We have Semcoat for your water retaining areas, like washrooms, water tank, swimming pool. Before laying the tiles, it's 2 components. You mix it together, you paint the surface before laying tiles, two coats, horizontal, vertical, and we have seal and bond. When you experience the dampness, that is what you use in for the treatment. So we advise you take off the affected area, mix it in the mortar to do the concrete, to do the plastering. We have felt, roofing felt for concrete roof. So probably you are leaving the roof open for a while before you can use the felt on the surface, we touch it with fire.
Now, as the Entrepreneur in You initiative catches on, Dr. Maxwell Opon has words of encouragement and fortitude for the massive participation of the students.
If anybody knows me, they know I'm very direct, so I'll go straight to the point. We are here because we all want certain things. And I have communicated to our partners certain things that we want. And I think I should cross-check if we are all on the same page. Do you think that's a fair approach? Oh, louder. Do you think it's a fair approach? Okay. We want money, true or false? Hey, do you want the money? We want money. Okay. We want to learn how to earn a living, true or false? Okay. Can anybody else tell me something we want? Money. I have one passport. We are here because we want to have correspondence between ourselves and each other. And our esteemed partner, GCB Bank PLC, on how best we can grow the entrepreneur in our individual selves. We are in uncertain times. 20 years ago, times changed every 5-10 years. Now, prices are changing, I think, every 3 days, every 2 days. Things are getting dicey. As young people, as sharp young people, I am so impressed by what I've seen on the WhatsApp groups. You guys are the future of this initiative. And that is why my first Ayuko goes all of you. Ayuko.
Brought to you by Africa School of Entrepreneurship.
That'll be all for business here on Prime Business. My name is Winston Taki. We have more news for you after this break as well as sports. Stay tuned.